Welcome to my channel. I'm JP Watkins, and this is Personal Gov. This is where you get food for your mind and motivation for your soul. And today we're going to talk about shifting from being a battery to being a generator. And you say, what's he talking about now? Often, part of the reason I started this channel was to inspire people, to give them that plug, that spark of inspiration to help lead to the transformation. But what I don't want you to get used to is depending on somebody else to spark you, depending on somebody else to recharge you, operating like a battery. Sometimes your cell go dead. Guess what? We all need that jump sometimes. Just like your car, right? Sometimes, for whatever reason, it was too cold, your battery old, and you need a jump, right? Especially if you come from an under-resourced population. Now, for those of you who ride in the lap of luxury, y'all may not remember that. Y'all may be too far from away from that. Y'all, with your fancy vehicles. So maybe you can't relate to that. But I know you know somebody who can relate to it. So it's important that you start to be a generator and start self-generating that motivation. So how do you do that? Well, it's going to start with some visualization. Where do you want to be? Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? Are you happy with your life? And if you're unhappy about something, what are you willing to do about it? Got to start being a generator. Because sometimes if you go by your feelings, feelings will whip you. If you're struggling with your waistline, struggling with your weight, and I don't feel like working out today. I don't feel like taking that run. You have to pursue complete discipline. That's those inner resources. And that has to be generated from within. Yeah, somebody like myself, somebody like Les Brown, somebody like Eric Thomas, somebody like Tony Robinson. Yeah, they can give you that external spark. But internally, you got to get it running. You got to tap inside your head. You got to keep programming your subconscious in spite of your current circumstances. A lot of times you're like, but man, I've been struggling for 6 months, 6 years, 16 years. When is it going to happen? You got to keep believing in you. You got to operate in faith. You got to operate with excellence in the meantime. That means you have to be patient. You got to be persistent. You got to be consistent. You got to keep it coming. Be honest with yourself. Are you working as hard as you say you are? Are you being consistent? Because you know how we do sometimes, right? We go hard for the weekend, and then we fall off by Monday morning. I've done it. I've done it many a times. I went from losing 65 pounds, 85 pounds, most weight I ever lost, 110 pounds. And what do? Fall back into the pleasure trap. Get back into, I'm going to have a little this here, a little that. Because I didn't have complete self-discipline. And guess what? It's a pendulum. It's going to swing back and forth. Because life's going to happen. Setbacks are going to happen. But that's why it's so important that you become a generator, to where you can generate that self-motivation, to where you can generate that self-discipline, to where you can generate from within. You can generate that determination. You can generate that fire. And you can visualize, see it. Not just general, I want a good life. What's a good life? What is that? What does that look like? It's a good life. You being healthy, having healthy blood pressure, healthy weight. Is that a good life? Being energetic, being able to run up and down the play yard with your grandson and your granddaughters. Is that a good life? Is that a good life? Hey, having you a 4-bedroom house or having you a starter castle. 7 rooms, 5 bathrooms. What does that good life look like? Is that good life a prayerful life? A peaceful life where you got you a nice little garden in the back. You got some space. You got, a creek running down where you can walk out there and throw rocks in the creek. What does that life look like? Because you got to remember, you have some power. You have a lot more power than you think you got. And you can design a life. If you've been drug addicted, if you've been afflicted, if your heart's been broken, if you've been walked over, if you've been looked over, guess what? It's time for you to get over it and get going and start generating that motivation from within. So you've been rejected. So you've been neglected. So what? Now it's time for you to turn it on inside. That inner gut of gold. It's time for you to mine inside of yourself. You got to generate it from within. Don't become dependent on always having to. It's nice to be able to turn on some Les Brown. I do it. I listen. It's nice to turn on some Dr. Miles Monroe. I do it. It's good to listen to some Jim Rohn. Tap back into Earl Nightingale. It's good to tap into some of that old, just good foundational. It's good. But at the end of the day, that information won't lead to transformation unless you get to a point to where you're willing to implement that information. And that's going to come from being able to generate that motivation from inside. You got to be able to generate. You got to find your why. You got to say, man, how am I going to do this? How? Don't say I can't do it. Don't say, oh, just give up. You give up, guess what? As soon as you stop fighting, you ain't got a chance. As soon as you stop, that's it. It's over. But a small chance is better than no chance. So you got to take a chance. I let that silence sit with you for a moment. Tap inside of yourself. Dig deep. I mean, really sit and reflect. Visualize. See yourself. See yourself winning. If you want to be a public speaker, see yourself on that stage. If you want to be a singer, see yourself standing, looking across the crowd. Looking at them, holding that microphone. And then you just start giving it to them. So you want it to be everything you ever heard him say. He's always needed. Yeah, yeah. And everybody, you hear him, yeah, yeah. Even if it's not a reality right now. It won't become a reality if you don't believe in you. You gotta believe in you. Look at how many people that got overlooked at one point. I was watching an interview with Kevin Hart. He said, hey man, everybody see me shining now. But then nobody see me grinding in the background for that 10, 12 years. He said, I've been doing this. See, we see the result on the end. We look at the Arnold Schwarzeneggers in their prime, the Ronnie Colemans in their prime, the Phil Heaths in their prime. We see them, we see these enormous physiques, and we, oh man, I want that. But do you want to put in the work for it? And if you want to be able to put in the work for it, you got to be able to be a generator. You got to generate your motivation. You got to get up even when you don't feel like getting up. You got to go when you're tired, when you're taxed out. When life kicks you in your stomach and step on your neck, you gotta say, you know what? Life, not today. Not today, life. You ain't gonna chomp me today. You ain't gonna chop me down today. I bet you don't. I bet you I'm gonna get it. Now you can delay me, you can slow me down, but you're not gonna defeat me. I can do this. You got this. So I hope you walk away with something today that's going to say, you know what? How do I keep myself turned on? How do I shift from being a battery to being a generator? What can I do differently? One of the things, start looking. Start visualizing, seeing yourself where you want to be, what kind of house you want to have, what kind of body you want to have. And if you're in a situation where you've been, in a bad accident, you're in a wheelchair or something like that, then hey, within your limitations, hey, you got to remember, it's a cat. He in a wheelchair. He's one of the, I can't think of his name. I'm thinking his last name's Scott. I'm speaking off my head, so that's why I don't have it in front of me. But this guy, Dancing with the Stars, he in a wheelchair. He's a bodybuilder. A professional bodybuilder in a wheelchair. He's still seeing himself as being more than just, I'm just going to be wheelchair bound and I'm going to sit in my basement and have a pity party. So what is going to motivate you to be your absolute best? What do you dream about doing? What is your purpose? Why are you here? Why do you matter? How can you serve your way to greatness? See, a lot of times we want people to care. We want people to care about us, but we don't want to care about nobody else. When you only care about you, often that's all you're going to have. So look inside yourself, energize yourself, generate that inner motivation. Start organizing yourself internally. Start getting your employees to work for you. You say employees? Yeah. Discipline, that's your employee. Mindset, a growth mindset, that's your employee. Determination, that's your employee. Persistence, that's your employee. Consistent, that's your employee. It's many of them. Imagination, that's one of your huge, that's one of the key employees. Use your imagination. Well, that's my time for the day. In the meantime, persist, believe, and achieve. If you enjoyed this, subscribe, share. Let's get the message out. Let's get that food out for your mind. Let's get this motivation out for your soul. That's my time for the day. Talk to you soon.